Kathie J.
Hello, hi everybody. Hello. Hi, welcome to the Kathie J Show. I'm your host, Kathie J. It's really good to see all of you. I hope that so far you're having a good day. I don't know where you're watching us, whether you're watching us live or whether you're streaming us, but I hope you're having a good day so far. I also want to say thank you to everybody out there who's been subscribing to our YouTube channel, Kathie J Show, and the website, kathiejshow.com. We love hearing all of your comments, so thank you so much, everybody. So today, I can't believe this, but 3 weeks from now, like a lot of kids here in the Denver metro area are going back to school. Mine are. We're going to talk about going back to school because parents, I'm not ready. Are you ready? And kids definitely aren't ready. But this year, something's a little different when we're going back to school because in addition to buying our school supplies and the new clothes, we have to talk to our kids about how they feel about their safety when it comes to being in school. And in the aftermath of the Uvalde school shooting, well, many of our kids might not be feeling that confident returning to the classroom. So what do we do as parents? That's why we brought in the expert to tell us. Here to talk to us about this very important topic, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, our child and family therapist. Thank you for being here. So a lot of parents might be thinking, we're past it. I don't have to address this with my kids. That's not really the case.
It's not really the case. I mean, unfortunately, school safety, school shootings, these kinds of fears are now, we're looking at it generationally. They're just sewn into the fabric of this generation of kids. They're used to lockdown drills, active shooter drills.
Right.
And it was an interesting timing when Uvalde happened because for many people it was the last week of school.
Right.
And certainly I know many people who just didn't even send their kids to school
Yes,
yeah,
you're right.
That last Friday. So we left, they're heartbroken, of course, and then summer went on.
Yeah, and then
right?
everyone kind of forgot about the building and school and
Right.
not feeling safe in it.
Right.
We just moved on.
Right. So, I think it's gonna come up.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I know it's hard. People don't want to talk about these things, but it's always helpful to be a little bit ahead of it. Just meaning that, the really young kids, you don't have to be really ahead of it, but I would be talking to the school about, hey, are you going to tell us when there's going to be these drills? Maybe asking the school to be able to give you that warning so that you can talk to your kid about it the night before.
Okay, yes, right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Like tomorrow there's going to be a drill and it's just a drill. I think they could use that reinforcement.
Okay.
Those are the younger kids. Those middle-aged kids, maybe third, fourth through middle school, those are kids we really do need to talk to about safety. What does it feel like to be unsafe? How safe does it feel in your school? How much do you trust your teacher? How much, how do you feel in the building?
Yeah, so I need to have those conversations with my kid.
Yes.
Okay, and then when they say I don't really feel that safe, what do I start telling them? Do I start saying there's things you can do to feel safe? What do I start doing?
Yeah, having a really serious conversation about this between us, it is getting harder to tell kids, you're definitely safe. But you can say, we as a community, your teachers, the administration, are working the hardest they can work to make sure that all the doors are locked. That's why when we go up to the school, they don't just open the door for me and I have to show an ID.
Right. Try to explain, point out the things that the school is doing already. Okay.
Absolutely. Point it out.
Okay.
This is why there are these rules and sometimes they can be frustrating, but they're to keep us safe. So just really reinforcing what the school is actually doing can be very helpful.
To try to make them feel more safe. Now, when it comes to the teenagers, they're a whole different generation, right? They're not going to believe it when you say you're safe.
No. With them, and these are conversations I have often. With them, it's more about if you see something, if your gut doesn't feel good about something, you do something immediately. You tell a teacher. You can remove yourself from the classroom. You can call Safe to Tell.
Yeah.
And so with the older kids, it's like, we are expecting you to be proactive. If you see a social media post,
you tell somebody.
Right. And it doesn't, because some kids will say, I don't want to get someone in trouble. You're not going to get someone in trouble if there's no trouble to be had.
Right.
Maybe they need help.
Yes,
right. It doesn't mean necessarily trouble, but if somebody's posting something about violence, or sometimes kids will say, I don't know, maybe they're just kind of joking. In this day and age, you can't joke about that.
You can't take that chance. Yeah.
So unfortunately, we are also relying on our teens to be part of the solution, or at least the extra set of eyes, and also teaching them to trust their gut.
Yes, that's a good point too, because you're part of the community. Now you're becoming a teenager, you're becoming an adult. So when we come back, everybody, there's more to this critical discussion. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. Welcome back, everybody, to the Kathie J Show. Everybody, this is our child and family therapist. This is Dr. Sheryl Ziegler. Thank you for being here so much. I love you so much. So, you know, in the wake of the Uvalde school shooting and the death of children inside their school, it's just, I mean, it's horrific hearing, especially now that we know what's unfolding and everything. So when it comes to kids returning to school, I know you just told us how we talk to the different age groups, but should I be proactive and tell my kid, find exits, save yourself? I mean, because we go into grocery stores, Sheryl, and I will say when we're in the middle of an aisle, okay, girls, if something happened right now, where's our exit? Mm-hmm. And I remind them, you can run behind the bakery. There, if you hear something, you can go in areas you're not allowed to go in to hide. Like, I have to let them know they can break, you know, they have permission to do that, to save themselves. Because I think in Uvalde, I feel like now nobody's going to save our kids. Right. You know, like, and nobody feels like they need to step up to help people at the moment, and it's weird. Yeah. So can I talk like that to my kids?
Yeah, and I think the more that we normalize, unfortunately, these conversations, the easier they get, the more natural they feel. If you've never had it, it doesn't have to be like, let's sit down.
I need to talk to you.
Right, we need to have a talk about exits and, you know, but trying to be natural because, yes, it's back to school time and kids particularly feel this at school, but it is now grocery stores, movie theaters. I mean, even just recently, one of my kids said, wait, what? Because the 10-year anniversary of the Aurora theater shooting was this week. And I was talking to them about it. I don't think that ever crossed their mind, and now it did. Mm-hmm. So yes, I think naturally saying, again, just if you feel uncomfortable with something, you can leave. If something happens, you can run. Yeah. You can hide. You can be quiet, like learning from these things. Yes, because otherwise what we do as adults is we have protective factors around us. That's the proper term of it, right? And so we go, oh, that happened. Okay, I'm going to compartmentalize that, put that here. Yeah. Right? And the more psychological proximity or physical proximity, that actually makes a difference on how it affects us. So obviously the Aurora theater shooting, well, that affects our community maybe more than even somewhere in California.
Right, for sure.
Right?
Right.
So we have real tragedies in this community, unfortunately, that we have that proximity, but we protect ourselves by shelving it. So I think back to school is a good reminder that works for much of the year, but we really need to prepare our kids to be resilient and ready.
Right, resilient and ready. And by doing that, we're also giving them the confidence to go back to school, right?
Yes.
That's a big thing, that they need to be confident walking in there, that they feel they can be safe and protect themselves, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's an empowerment. I mean, I think after Uvalde, I did a debriefing with a school, and it felt a little like people were like, we're going on our own. Like, we're not hiding. Yeah, I'm not hiding in a closet.
I'm not playing dead. I'm running.
I'm running. Yeah. Which I understand why people feel that way, but we need to have a plan, right? Yeah. Because if we all just say, forget the plan, I'm doing whatever, that could be...
Save yourself, everybody out,
Right, I mean, so these are, again, these hard conversations that I think also have to happen in schools. Parent nights, you know, unfortunately, like a parent back to school night needs to involve talking about safety.
Okay, and you know, there's a lot of parents right now that doesn't scare them. They're more than happy to make sure that we have those discussions. So everybody, I think it's up to all of us to continue to be vigilant as parents and make sure the schools are doing the right thing to talk to our kids and make them feel safe. Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler. Okay, everybody, when we come back, let's move into a different part of going back to school. Ooh, the schedule. Are you sure you want to talk about all this? The going to sleep early, all that stuff. We're going to get into it. We'll be right back. Kathie J. Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. Kathie J. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. Dr. Sheryl Ziegler is here. She's our family and child therapist. Thank you for being here. And thank you for talking to us about Uvalde, because it's a hard conversation, but it's a conversation that we need to have. Now we know. We can't just push it under. We need to address it as all of our kids are going back to school. A lot of other things happen when we go back to school, Dr. Sheryl.
Yes, they do.
the normal stuff that we have to prepare for. Because summer, it's been, there's no rules in the summertime. You're eating sugar, you're sleeping, we're waking up whatever you want.
Right.
All right, so what do we have to do to start preparing for this? The first thing you said is it is the sleeping. That's the first thing we got to prepare for.
That's the big one.
Okay.
And it's just the adjusting, which is so hard, right? It's still bright and light out.
It totally is. It's summertime.
It's so hard, but what I like to do, I would just say a week before school starts.
Okay, good.
1 week before school starts, you start going like, okay, we're going to start transitioning to what school's going to be like, and truly just draw the blinds in your house as much as you can, because if not, it seems like it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Summertime, right?
And just do the hours, right? We want our teenagers getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and we've got to protect that sleep. That is one of the most protective factors for mental health, even physical health, your immune system. So sleep is really important. So
I encourage my kids, Dr. Sheryl. I'm like, you should sleep longer.
Yeah, sleep, and more sleep.
Where's the 10-hour sleep? Do that, kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, and so it truly is hard. So 1 week before, start having them to go to bed a little bit earlier. And then
you go like by 15-minute increments? I mean, how would you even try it? Just stay, now's your 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
I'm thinking of like younger kids up to 12, right? Because the teenagers, it's just a straight up conversation.
Good luck, right?
Yeah, exactly. Go in your room and try reading a book or something.
Right, and I'm going to come check at you at 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Okay, so I'll say little kids and then the older ones. But the younger ones, try little increments, doing it early.
Okay.
Thinking about reducing the ice cream and all the sugar, right? So reduce that. Make sure you're super active in the day. Try to exhaust them a little bit more. And be thoughtful, right? So keep the house quieter. Again, try to make it as dark as possible.
Get them off their electronics earlier.
And maybe get us off our electronics too. Because if it feels like there's a party going on downstairs with mom and dad or an older sibling, and you're like, it's 8:30.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bed. Normally I'm going to bed at 10:30.
Right, totally. They're not going to bed.
Right. So just change
We're
the
all
whole
part of this.
Yes.
Okay.
And the teens, all I want to say about that, I say this all the time, but I think no electronics or devices in rooms.
At all?
For
TV,
me,
computer, laptop. Your kid, your daughter doesn't have any of that.
No. She has to hand it in.
Oh, okay, at nighttime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you know that she's in there sleeping.
Right.
And not...
She's got nothing else to do.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So a lot of people don't do this.
That's a good point,
but it is the way you protect your sleep. It's also the way you protect all the stuff that goes on social media at night.
True, that's such a good point.
So it's like you can, they're going to have it, you can have it, but when it's time to go to bed within 30 minutes, I suggest bringing all the electronics, take them out. And that whole thing about, we need it for our alarm.
Yeah, meditation sleep or my alarm or any of that. What do you say about all that?
Well, in my situation, we have an Alexa.
Uh-huh.
So you set your alarm on Alexa.
Oh,
and
she can give you meditation sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
She can put on rain.
So smart. I didn't even think of that.
Yes.
Another thing that we need to we have to worry about is the calendar, like a central location that the family stays organized.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, I think it's super helpful, organization in general.
Yeah,
right?
Amen. Yeah.
That's what's so great about summers. You don't have to be on a schedule, it's a lot looser. But again, I'd say probably 2 weeks before school starts, start getting your everything organized. Who's doing what activity, what sport, who's driving, who's picking up. Do you have to organize your carpool?
Oh, yeah.
It helps you as the parent.
It does. Back to school nights, all that
right.
stuff.
Put it all on the calendar. And in the beginning, I think actually a physical, that's why I'm doing this, a
yeah,
physical one.
I see it too.
You're right? Because then everybody can see it,
yes.
and you're like, oh yeah, that's what we're headed toward, right?
Right.
And I say now, especially for kids who have any little bits of anxiety or have a hard time, start even now the back to school supply shopping.
Okay.
And the clothes and the shoes.
Because it mentally helps them start accepting it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it also just doesn't feel, again, this is maybe a little bit more for the kids who get anxious around back to school, but it just is a calming feeling to know I've got my clothes. I know my first day of school outfit.
Okay, yeah.
We've got a huge calendar. We know what we're doing. Like all that stuff. If your kid has special education services, make sure the school, you're talking to them ahead of time. You can say, this is Mrs. So-and-so who you're going to be meeting with. Just those little things go a really long way.
It does, and you should be worrying about that. Like if you have to talk to I have to go talk to the nurse at my school. I keep forgetting the little things that you have to do.
Right.
The immunization records that we got to get.
Yes.
It's better to get organized now. Yes. So when we come back, everybody, I want to talk to Dr. Sheryl about the thing that always bothered me going back to school, and that was just fitting in and the bullies. So when we come back, we're going to talk to her about that.
Kathie J.
The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on. Kathie J. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. This is Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, our child and family therapist. Thank you for being here. I love the fact that you have your own kids. You know this firsthand, what we're all living. You have 3 children, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so from 16 down, is that where we're at?
This year I'll have one in elementary, one in middle, one in high.
Oh, you're in all, you got it all covered.
Yep.
So so you know everything that we're dealing with what our kids are saying about anxiety going back to school.
Oh,
like there's the safety, we've gone through that. There's also just the normal thing that every kid goes through, regardless of the generation or the year. It's just new people, new situation,
new teacher,
you know, confidence, and people can be mean. So what's your advice for going back to school to fight everybody?
Well, what I've noticed is that a lot of times in the summer, either people travel or they don't really stay always so much in touch with their schoolmates.
True.
So if you as a parent know the parent of another kid and they've been friendly or they're good friends even, set a pool play date. Get them together ahead of time. That helps a ton.
Why?
Because it's that recognizable, friendly face.
Gotcha.
You know, they reestablish, oh yeah, like we're buddies. I forgot that we're buddies. We're buddies. You know, like it's that reminder. So, you know, that'll apply to some people. So if you've been traveling a lot or your kid hasn't really been hanging out with too many kids from school, no matter what the age is. Yeah. Even teenagers, honestly, to remind them, you know, why don't you hang out with so-and-so? You guys just start seeing each other.
Right. Go hang out with them.
But drop the little hint for them because that helps a lot.
You're not alone. Remember, you're not alone. And you know a lot of people.
You know a lot of people, and you're friendly with them. And sometimes we lose touch over the summer. We're just doing other things.
It happens.
It also can remind them, like, just because you didn't talk or see each other over the summer doesn't mean maybe that you're not friends.
Exactly.
You're just, we're doing other things.
Right. You'll catch up as soon as you see them.
Totally.
Okay, good.
So that's one. Number 2 is if there was someone who they had a hard time with. So that's everywhere from we just have a hard time with each other all the way up to that person bullied me last year. That needs to be talked about and a plan needs to happen.
Okay.
You know, what are you going to do? I'll just call it little Johnny, right? What are you going to do when you see little Johnny? Well, you know, a lot of times kids will be like, well, I'm just going to ignore him. Okay, well, that's a good strategy. But
until little Johnny
Oh, okay. But what happens if little Johnny did what they did last year to you? What are you going to do? And then revisit. So it's a reflection time too. Like, it seemed like last year this and this helped, this and this didn't. Just trying to ignore him didn't, or whatever that was. So that you just talk about, this year you're older. We're going to stand up for ourselves. And at the first sign of this, what should we do? Do you think we could talk to somebody? Do you think, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, him or her.
Right.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But at the first sign that maybe things aren't going well, we're going to be on top of it.
Yeah.
That also gives the kid an idea about, okay, I talked about it. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And if it continues, we're going to talk to somebody early, even if it's day 3 of school, you know, whatever that's going to be.
We're not going to accept anything this year. It's a new pattern.
Right, because sometimes when bullying starts, it's confusing because sometimes a bully's also nice. So there's that mixed relationship sometimes.
Yeah, girl bullies can be real nice and mean at the same time.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's social. So that's social relational. That's
Wendy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Wendy. So we're going to talk to Wendy, but it's true. Like a Wendy might be like, oh, what did you do this summer? It starts off right away, passive aggressive. Oh, me, so-and-so and so-and-so. We had such a good time, going to the lake, or, it's like, oh, I'm going to let you know right away. We did stuff over the summer and you were excluded.
See? That's exactly, that's what she's saying. So have my girls be prepared to say, well, I did this and it doesn't matter. Did you have a good time? I did too.
Yeah.
End of story.
And maybe role play that out. So when they say this, what are you going to say?
Yes, exactly. I love the role playing that you do. I also love the fact that you always want to remind everybody that bullies look for opportunities of weakness. So if your kid is walking alone, if your kid, like you always said, don't try to be alone. If there's a bully around, he's going to find you if you're alone, especially.
Yeah, there's power in numbers, for sure.
Yes, power in numbers.
And I do want to say, I want to just really underscore this. The weakness that a bully sees sometimes is a kind kid.
Yes.
Right? The weakness
all the time.
Is you're kind, you're nice to everybody, maybe you're quieter.
Yes.
So, that's, they're such wonderful qualities, but sometimes somebody who's wounded inside will see that as an opportunity to take advantage or exploit that.
Yeah. So again, just remind your kids how awesome they are, that they're impenetrable, that it's perception, and they need to keep theirs loving and on them, right?
Almost like when we talked about vision boarding.
Yeah.
What do you want the school year to be like?
What do you want? I love that. Start
Right?
that. That's a great way to start this out.
Who do you want to be friends with? What sports do you want to do? What
goals
activities?
are we going for? Look at it that way. Yeah,
Totally.
I love that.
Yes.
Everybody, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, as you can tell, she is the best, everybody. And she, you're taking new clients? You're taking
No. I'm so sorry, but no.
But we're taking her advice, and she has books that we can read.
Yes.
Yes. So,
and I have a website, a blog, all that.
yes,
stuff.
she's a mommy burnout. You know, like there we go. So everybody, to connect with Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, just go to her website. It's drsherylziegler.com. Thank you for your time, Dr. Sheryl. Everybody, good luck going back to school. Remember, use the help that's out there. Talk to somebody, and have a good one. Good luck.